What's up you guys, welcome back to the channel, Andre here. In today's video we're going to go over the best way to invest your first $1,000 Maybe you just got a job, maybe you got your first paycheck, or maybe you're saving and you got to $1,000 and you're really not sure how to invest it properly. We're going to go over multiple ideas so that hopefully one of them is the right fit for you. Before we start guys, don't forget to drop that thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithm. Let's go. In my opinion, the first thing that you should do with $1,000 is to pay off all of your bad debt. This might not sound like an investment guys, but it is. Think about it. Some of these debt, like if you're an American you have student debt, if you're not you have at least credit card debt, a car debt, for example a car payment. This debt is extremely high rates, like sometimes it's over 10%, like 12%. That's insane. It's really hard to get those types of returns investing in the stock market unless you get lucky, or with $1,000 you can't really do real estate, so it's going to be hard to do real estate as well. So paying off this debt will save you like 12% a year. That's insane. That's an amazing return and it should be your first priority if you have bad debt. Again, this is bad debt. If you have, for example, mortgages that have like 2, 3, 4%, that's okay, you don't need to pay off that debt. But if you have a credit card that is paying 12%, pay off that debt. That will be your first investment ever, and trust me, it will feel great not to have those monthly payments add up. Now the second option guys, it's actually quite fun, is to blow it all away. Now some people might not like this idea, I'm one of them. I'm extremely frugal, I don't spend any money, to be honest. Like I just have exactly what I need and exactly the way that I need it. I have one good suit, I don't have a car, I walk everywhere. I have 4 houses that are rentals. I have one mic, one computer, 3 screens. I have multiple screens, 1 piano, a couple t-shirts, 2 pair of pants, 1 pair of sneakers. However, I know for a lot of people, spending money is actually something that brings them joy. If you are in a bad place, and you are one of those people that's spending money either with friends or buying a computer or a PlayStation, whatever it is, a camera, something that brings you joy, and if you are in a bad place mentally, this investment can actually be an investment. Even though you're spending money, this can actually bring your up game, right? Because if this makes you happier, we tend to make better when we're happy, guys. If you are in a bad mental space and you need to clear it out, maybe you got in a fight with someone that you like, maybe someone passed away, maybe you're having a bad time finding a job with Corona, whatever it is, if spending $1,000 or a part of it would make you happy, then go for it. Now the third one is one that you always hear, which is invest in yourself. There's multiple ways that you can invest in yourself, okay guys? The main one that I recommend is buying books. Now, a lot of times books can be a gateway into a certain state of mind. For example, I was not an investor until I started reading books about investment, and I realized this is actually very smart, so I will do this. The first book that I ever read is called The Richest Man in Babylon. You will not spend $1,000 in this book, trust me, it's super cheap. I'll leave you the link in the description. It's honestly one of the best, if not the best book that I've ever read. And I did read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I still prefer Richest Man in Babylon. I will leave you the link in the description. It's definitely an awesome book if you're starting investments. It gets you into that state, to that mental zone that you need to be in, understanding money, right? It's all about understanding how money flows, how you can use money to build more money. Now another way that you could invest in yourself is, for example, buying some type of course. The one that I promote is TradeNet, is the link in the description. If you want to be a day trader, not a swing trader, not an investor, a day trader, you want to learn that skill, TradeNet offers courses and they give you a funded account that you can trade with. It goes from anywhere from $500, it has a discount, the link in the description, to $8,000. If you have 1,000, you can only get the first one. I usually recommend the second one, but you know, it's an option. You can buy a drop shipping course. I don't have one. You can buy a ton of different courses, a ton of different books, but learning a skill that can make you money. Now, I don't recommend going into college because usually skills that you get in college are something that you can trade hours for money, and you don't want to be in those. Here's why. You have a limited amount of time in your day. So trading time for money it's not a good deal because you have limited amount of time. However, if you learn how to trade money for more money, for example, day trading, e-com, digital marketing, whatever it is, whatever you decide it's way for you, that's a good thing to be on. Okay, so invest in yourself, either with books, courses, whatever you want to do. I'll leave you the link of what I mentioned in the description. You don't have to use them, but yeah, invest in yourself. The fourth one, guys, is to start your emergency fund. A lot of people don't have this, and that's a problem because not having a fund, a pillow filled with cash for a rainy day, it's something that you should really have. So the way that I come about it, I go by employment rate. So if you're someone that has only one skill and you can only get hired for one job, and that job is kind of volatile, for example, there is a big likelihood that if you get fired, it's going to be hard to find a new job, then you should have, 6 to 12 months worth of essentials in your bank account. What do I mean by this? Rent and food and utilities. Okay, so you need these three things. Just calculate how much you spend every month and then multiply that by 12 or 6. Now, if you are extremely employable, for example, you have a job that, worst case scenario, if you lose your job, you're going to be out of a job for 2-3 months, then do that, 3 months. For example, in my case, I have 3 months worth of expenses because I know that, even not being employed, because I retired at 24, my cash flow is enough to support me. But if something were to happen and I would have to get a job, I know that I will get a job within 3 months, right? Because I have a degree in computer science and it's highly employable. So I have 3 months worth of expenses, essential expenses, okay? Not including like going to restaurants. It's just food and rent, utilities. That's it. Start your retirement plan. I can't stress this enough, guys. A lot of people, their only retirement plan is the government retirement plan. And that's terrible. Okay? Because the way that the government structures their retirement plans is with a pyramid scheme, which is usually not something that good. Okay? So the way that it works, that people that are working will pay a certain amount every month, and the people that are retired will get that amount. Okay? It's not that you pay and they save that money to give you in the future. No. The money that the retired people are getting right now is being paid by the people that are working. This is a pyramid scheme. Okay, so it's definitely not something that you should base your retirement on, okay, unless you want a very poor retirement. And one of the problems with this is that it actually hinders a lot of your income. Like, you can have a millionaire retirement. It's extremely easy. If you invest $500 a month into your retirement, you're gonna be a millionaire. But by doing it this pyramid scheme way, you don't get compound of interest. You don't get that. So your retirement will always be extremely small. So you should definitely have your own retirement plan. Even if you have a government retirement, for example, I don't have a government retirement because I only work for 1 year and I didn't even pay any money to Social Security because we don't have to pay the first year. So I don't have a government retirement, but I have my own. Okay, every month, 15% of whatever I make, I don't care if I make $1 million or $1, okay, I don't care. 15% will go directly into an ETF that follows the S&P 500. That's my investment. Are you a little bit older? Do you want something a little bit less volatile? Do bonds, or do, for example, a worldwide ETF instead of America. I like America. America is volatile, but it grows a lot. So that's why I bet on America. You don't have to. Just pick an ETF you like, and every month, put 15% in. 15%. It's not a lot. A lot of people seem to think that 15% is a lot. If the government were to come with a new tax of 50% right now, you would pay. And you would still live. Okay? The way that you should do it is, as soon as you get the money, you take that money out and you invest it. Because if you wait, there's a big likelihood that that money will be nowhere near to be found. Okay? You probably spent that on French fries at McDonald's. So every time you get a paycheck, take a percentage out. I choose 15, you can do 20, you can do 20, it's up to you. I do 15%. Every time I get money, I find money on the street, whatever it is, I take that money and I invest it into the S&P 500. So if you have $1,000 and you don't have a retirement plan, maybe use those 1,000 to just start, okay? Okay, this is my initial cake, it's $1,000. From now on, I will invest 15%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. Every month I will add to it, but this will be my start. The reason why I'm telling you to do it this way and not to invest in a company is because with $1,000, even if you have like a 10% return in a year, you know, that's $100. Okay, so it's not a lot of money. So the best way is to actually have it in an account that you're going to compound over the years. That's the best way to use those first $1,000. The sixth way is to create your own business. For example, guys, I have a friend that is really good at taking photography. He used his first $1,000 and he bought a camera. With that camera, he posted his services on Fiverr with a bunch of photos that he takes, and he started selling product photos. Okay, so basically what he does is he has people that come to him, they send him a product, and he has to take professional photos of the product. Now it is a skill that you have to learn, but you know, with those $1,000 you can get a really nice camera. For example, you can get a Sony Alpha 6400, which is an amazing camera for the price. You can take great photos with that, right? And if you learn, you just practice, and you start learning product photography, you can post that skill on Fiverr and you can get money from that. Even though I'm talking about photography, you can do this with anything, you know. If there's a business that needs some sort of tool, use those $1,000 to buy that tool to then create that business. It's not a job, okay guys, it's a business. And the cool thing about businesses is that you can increase the charge and you can scale it in the future. For example, my friend hired 2 other friends to work for him. He pays them a commission, but he gets a little bit out of their cake. For example, if they charge $6, you know, random value, he will charge $7 to the person that is selling the offer. Again, random value. It's up to you to come up with these values. If there's a business that you like and you need a tool, use those $1,000 to get that tool and start working on it. Now, last one, guys, I had to include real estate somehow in this video. With $1,000, it's not easy to find something to do with real estate. One thing that you can do is you can follow my REIT strategy, the high dividend stock REIT strategy. I will leave you the link in the cards or something. But what I'm going to talk about here in the video is a little bit different. There's a real estate business that actually doesn't need you to pay that much money up front. It's called rent to rent. Now, this doesn't work in every market, but the way that it works is you rent a house or place, wherever it is, you rent it to then re-rent it to someone else. A lot of people do this, for example, with Airbnb. They will rent a normal house, they will tell the landlord, you have to inform the landlord about this, that they will then take that and re-rent it to someone else. One way is with Airbnb, for example. You rent that place for, let's say, $1,000 every month, and then you go and rent it, for example, $100 a night on Airbnb. If you have 22 nights, that's 2,200. So you made 1,200 profit in that rent-to-rent business. Now, it does require you to rent a place, and it does require a little bit of risk. You don't have to do it with Airbnb. For example, if you can find a place that is, you know, renting for $1,000, and you tell that owner, hey, I will deal with everything, maintenance, you know, everything. You don't have to do anything, just give me the keys, but instead of $1,000, I will only pay you $800. There is a likelihood that the landlord would accept that, okay? Because even though you're taking a chunk out of the rent, he doesn't have to worry with maintenance, you will pay even if there are vacancies, so he's taking a lot of risk out of his side. You're taking the risk onto your side, but now you have a place that you didn't buy, and now you can re-rent it. So instead of $1,000, maybe you can charge $1,100. You now have $300 to work with that place. Now again, these values are completely random, and you would have to inform yourself in your local market what those are. But in this scenario, you would have $300 cash flow every month just by re-renting a place that you don't own. So basically, you're getting rent from something you don't own. You're getting money from nothing. Well, you would have to pay the first month's rent, which again would be like the $1,000 that you have. This option is a little bit more riskier than what we previously discussed, but again, it's one of the most profitable. So this doesn't work in every market. You would have to inform yourself. Usually works in big cities. For example, if you live in a city like mine that has 40,000 people, you're not going to be able to do this because there's literally like no way if you can get 10 bucks here, you would not be able to get 10 bucks here. So, the margin is not that great. But if you live in a big city that has a lot of people, you can definitely do this. For example, I know people in London that do this every day. Like, they live from this and they live very, very well. They just keep renting places that they don't own, and then they rent it either to normal renters or to Airbnb renters. And when they do Airbnb, they actually get extreme margins, like extremely big margins. But the problem is, not every apartment or every house is good for Airbnb. It has to be a place that gets a lot of traffic from tourists. So again, you have to know your market. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. I tried to change it a little bit. I know there was a lot of videos on YouTube about investing the first $1,000, but I noticed that most of them actually say the same thing over and over again. So I tried to add more into this video. I still have some of the basic ones that I think that, everyone should do, like invest in yourself, start your retirement plan, pay for that debt. Those are important. However, I decided to include a few extra ones just for something new, just so you can have a little bit more to work with. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a thumbs up, and I will see you next week in the next one. Peace!